Hello my beautiful badgers, Messi Coder back again with another live dev interview, this time with Cleverous, one of the cleverest people on the Unity Asset Store, and we checked out his Prodigy game framework, which is an amazing tool to help you make top-down hack and slash games, as well as his Vault inventory system that you can use in any type of game that you want to make. This interview took place on my live Twitch stream or the w.twitch.tv/themessycoder, where you can catch me on Saturdays doing fantastic live dev interviews just like this one. So sit back, enjoy, and I'll see you all in a second. Everybody sitting at home in front of your Google Watches, your Alexa microwave PCs of the future, give a warm and messy welcome to the cleverest person on Unity Asset Store. It's Cleverous, creators of the Prodigy game framework and also the Vault asset toolset. Welcome to the stream, buddy.
Thanks, Messi. Thanks for the intro. Pretty sweet.
Yeah, 25 seconds as well. Bang on.
Yeah, glad to be here, man.
Well, you've been on the Discord for many a year in our Discord, and you've been working on your Prodigy game framework. I can't even say. I can never say the word Prodigy my entire life. Never been able to say it. So thanks for naming your asset there. And I'm going to just refer to Vault a lot more just because it's easier for me to say. I can put my teeth in.
Yeah, no worries.
But you've got two big sets of assets. Where do you get the time to do it?
Oh, sometimes I wonder, man. You know, it takes up a ton of time. It takes up way more than I thought it would. I started a long time ago, probably like back in 2017. I started working on Vault, and I was like, yeah, I'll just take on. Vault was first, yeah. Well, before that, actually, I had a top-down shooter framework on the asset store called Deftly. It was an even more confusing word for you.
Oh, my word.
So I did that originally, and that was on there for a few years. I got tired of maintaining it. It was a tough year. 2017 was really hard for me, and so I just deprecated it so I could work and focus on other things. But it was a pretty popular kit. It was in some big sales and stuff, and everybody liked it. And there's a couple of small titles published with it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Why didn't
nothing
you keep
serious.
it?
Just well, once I got back to being interested in creating some more stuff and some more frameworks, I thought, well, you know, I don't want to just fire it back up. I'll just make a better one.
Oh.
So I had a few jobs in between that to, you know, kind of increase my proficiency in programming. And so I was like, I'm going to start all over and do this from scratch, and it's going to be awesome, and there's going to be no bugs. It's going to work right out of the gate, and people are going to be able to create anything they want. There's going to be an MMO button, you know.
I love that MMO button.
Yeah. So as I got going on it, I was like, okay, all right. First things we got to do is work out like how to store some data and start building some content. Because one of the things I hated with my original framework definitely was everything was prefab based, man. You had to design so much stuff in the hierarchy. Just sit there and find your prefabs and click them, and then like change settings on them. And I mean, it's nice that you get prefabs and stuff, but
and then you discovered scriptable objects.
Yeah, and then there was a talk. I don't remember who it was, but it was a Unite talk, and
yes,
I had been investigating scriptable objects, and I was like, man, this stuff seems pretty legit. Like, you can just create the assets, and then there's your data. All I need is a way to like show it in some sort of dashboard, you know? And so then I started playing around with it, and eventually I saw that talk, and I was like, whoa, I could do everything with these. So I just took it for what it was and ended up expanding it as much as I could, and it turned out really good. At least I like the workflow. You can just pop your data into the project, edit it all in the dashboard. The project hierarchy goes away. It's easier to search through and edit and everything. So
you can become a little bit too addicted to them, because
I think so.
I did some hacking and shenanigans a long time ago, and I was using scriptable objects as part of a persistent storage. So even after you turn off your game, they were saving on your local storage. And I can't remember who I was talking to. They were like, what did you do? And I was like, I got it working. Look, You should not be doing that. That's wrong on so many levels. You're breaking the world. Don't do that. You shouldn't be doing that. I was like, but it's scriptable.
Yeah.
You should do everything in scriptable objects. You should be making the tea using scriptable objects.
Yeah, it was I did learn about that early on, that there was going to be like a separation of runtime data from the kind of the design set, the data set that's in the vault. And that's a hard problem to solve, really. I mean, it's nice that you can refer back to those templates or whatever in the scriptable objects, but serialization is so different on projects, it's become difficult to figure out how to build like the runtime state for users. Like in Prodigy, there's so many ways you might want to save that data. Like users are going to go in and add in like, oh, I want to add on to the ability system, and I'm going to add a quest system, and I'm going to, add these other things that I need to serialize, and there's going to be DLC I'm going to pop in there, and before you know it, it's gotten kind of complicated. And if I've gone in and married some serialization process in the tool, well, that just makes it harder for everybody. But yeah, I'm kind of working with that right now, trying to find a generic way to serialize the data and kind of save things for users. And it's been hard.
Oh
But
yes.
working with the objects themselves and the dashboard and in the editor, man, this stuff's been awesome. You can run methods, and it's just like it just feels good. It's a nice way to do it.
So what's the difference between the Prodigy game framework and Vault?
All right, so
Let's get
the way
down
it
to it.
works, yeah, all right. So we started this development process with Vault. And then as time goes on, I was like, all right, I got a good base for how to build my data. And then I was like, all right, I need to add an inventory, right? So how do I build an inventory system with this? So I started building the inventory system on top of the dashboard and how you design all the data. And once I got that done, I was like, okay, I need abilities. And so I added abilities onto it. And then that turned into, all right, I need characters and all of their data. And then it just keeps stacking. But it's all stacked on top of Vault. So the core asset, all it really is the dashboard and the system for managing all of your information you've designed for the game. And you can extend the data entities to be whatever you want. So they can be, for example, Vault Inventory's got a root item, and that's what you move around and stick on characters and equip on them and use weapons and resources. Everything's driven from that. And then the ability system has got the ability class, and you can store like, I want this to happen when it's cast. I want this to happen when it's like prepared, or whatever the phrase is, when you're preparing to cast it. And then when it's done, I want this method to be run. And you can just run all those straight out of the template in the scriptable objects, right? But it's all based on the core and the scriptable objects there, and they just stack on top. So really, Prodigy is the culmination of all of those assets put together. And Vault is the system that helps it happen.
You know the question I'm going to ask you, don't you?
What is it? I'm ready.
The money question.
Oh boy.
All right, so it's a sale at the moment. So Prodigy game framework on sale, €60, $60. Exchange rate is appalling. It's around the same thing. Pounds, shekels, everything's the same. Vault core 30, attributes is 40, the inventory is 40. I love your stylized character. You see me throw them in every stream every now and again when I'm doing stuff. So people who buy the game Prodigy game framework on the sale, do they then have to go and buy all the others as well?
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready for it. I'm sitting down.
The answer is no. If you buy Prodigy, you get backwards upgrades for free to all the other products.
But I don't mean to be rude. Okay, but that's insane.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
I mean, to be honest, no one's going to buy your individual ones. They're just going to buy Prodigy.
Yeah, that's pretty much the idea. That's the way I built the. I mean, that's kind of the business model, right? Like, one thing I didn't like seeing was the assets that solved all the problems, and it was an amazing framework, but it was one really expensive asset. And then once you got it, you couldn't take the pieces apart. It's all tied together and married together really, really tightly. So I also hated when there was just tons of assets and you had to integrate them yourself. That was annoying. So I thought, well, for Prodigy, I want to make a big asset that integrates them all, but I also want to design and develop all of these assets separately so that I can break them off, sell them, and users can benefit.
Don't use the word break.
I can break them. I can just snap them right off and separate them.
I'm trying to work out your your revenue model on this, okay, in the sweetest possible way, and I'm struggling somewhat in the pricing. So, is it you're intentionally pricing it so that people? I think it's cunning. Actually, when I think of it, you're actually. It's like that person who says buy one DVD for £3 or buy 3 DVDs for £10, and then the person goes, right, give me one DVD, here's £3, give me another DVD, here's another £3, here's give me another DVD, £3. How I bought 3 DVDs for £9 instead of 3 DVDs for £10. And then the person turns around and goes, yeah, but that's how everyone buys. I get everyone to buy 3 DVDs. You've done that. You're getting everyone to buy Prodigy game framework because of how you're pricing it.
Well, not really. I mean, Prodigy doesn't get a lot of traction. Inventory is what gets the most traction because people want. Let me tell you. Here's how it works.
You need better marketing.
Yeah, I do. Honestly, I don't do hardly any marketing. I have some like affiliate links out there just for awareness, but honestly, it's not that much. I'm pretty far. I'm so busy working on the actual product, I can never get to market anything. But look,
are you ever going to release the game? I'll let you speak, and then you can tell me.
Oh my God, yeah. No, it's actually coming along pretty quick. I've only been working on it a couple months, and it's been good. But basically, there's a target demographics on the asset store fall into 3 major categories. So you got the amateurs that come straight into it, and they're like, yeah, I just want a new hobby. I'm going to play around and make a game. Everybody says it's easy now. Jump into Unity, right? Buy something and get going.
Yeah,
they don't know what they're doing.
Put the assets in and click make my game.
Right, yeah. He wants that make MMO button, right? So those guys are usually looking for game frameworks, and they'll jump into something like Prodigy. Prodigy is probably a little pricey for their tool, right? So they would prefer to start at a lower number and then end up spending what they really
That's why
need,
the
right?
Good for them.
Yeah, so the sale actually produced some good results from that, right? Because it fell into that amateur range, right? So then they'll usually not produce anything as a result. They'll just have fun with it, and as long as it works out of the box and it's cool and they can like swap out some art, they're happy, and then they go away. Then there's the second group is the hobbyist, and the hobbyists, they probably started collecting assets. They have hundreds of them. They may have a mobile title out there or something on Steam, something small, but unlikely, but maybe. But they like building stuff and they take it seriously. So they like smaller packages like, the inventory system, or they're like, I want to manage my data differently. So, they might pick up core because it's something tangible that solves a very specific problem for them. Right. So the intermediate users are looking for these pieces. They're not looking for the whole solution because they don't want to break it all apart, right? And then there's the professionals, and they kind of just want all kinds of random stuff. They might want to start with Prodigy and like tear it to shreds and butcher it until it's what they want. But they also might be like, all right, well, let's start with something simple, and here's our inventory system, and then build out from there with that basis and, structure it that way. But they're producing titles, and they're just going to do whatever they want. They don't ever hardly ever come back for support. They're just like, yeah, we'll just change it. No big deal.
We like those.
Don't worry about it.
We like the ones who pay with money but don't need any help.
Yeah. But the biggest group that Unity caters to is the amateurs. So the other two take care of themselves. So the professionals don't participate much in the asset store, and the amateurs are heavily catered to. So there's a lot of marketing and around automatic solutions, and this solves all your problems. And it doesn't have to live very long, right? Because the amateurs don't live long enough with the projects to actually produce anything unless they turn into hobbyists.
Oh man.
So I tried to build a business model that kind of fit a little bit around everybody, and I'm trying to see how it plays out. It's been about a year that Prodigy's been released, and it didn't have very good traction at first, but that's probably because I just didn't market it very well.
Well, we're going to try and fix that, aren't we?
I guess so.
It's either going to go really, really well, buddy, or this is going to go really bad and I'm going to break everything. There. How's that? That looks good. I can see all of your things at the bottom.
Oh, that's not what we want.
No, it's too late. You can see them.
Okay, here we go. So, yeah, this is the menu. You already saw this sandbox.
You don't show me the stuff I've seen. Show me the stuff I didn't break.
Oh, show you the stuff you didn't bring. Okay, let's go back. And let's run the survival mode.
Oh, I went into sandbox.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is actually just like infinite waves or whatever. I don't know. It's not infinite waves, but I think it does like 10 or 12 waves or something. And you just blast the bad guys, and it's using all the functions of the kit, upgrading your character when he levels up, and the enemies. You can shoot stuff.
So
change weapons.
Do you need to install? Oh, like, there's a lot of animals. Do you need to install Vault first, or if you install Prodigy, it installs all of the Vault stuff automatically?
It's so yeah, I package it all for you, so you don't have to deal with all that.
So you just need to put Prodigy in your game, and then you basically got everything in your project.
Yeah, I mean, you'd start a new project. You wouldn't want to bring it into an existing project,
Oh yeah.
That would just be a mess.
But one thing I didn't understand is, do you need to have core to get inventory then?
Yeah, it's all packaged together. So when you get inventory, you also get core, right? And it's it's going to be included. It's required, right? So it's all your data is stored in ASCII files.
You're charging for inventory, Vault inventory. If I buy Vault inventory, I don't have to go off and buy Vault core separately.
No, that'd be annoying.
Yeah, but that's what everyone else does. That's how people make money on the asset store. They make the foundation asset, and then they make the add-ons that you have to then pay additionally for. You don't give stuff away for free.
And it's all built. I built inventory, and then I was selling inventory, right? And then I thought I should just go ahead and separate these products. I was ready for that. And so I took core out of inventory and sold core separately. But everybody really wanted the inventory tool, right? So
Yeah.
core was like something that, you're only really going to be looking out for core if you have a very specific need in your game, or you really want this specific back end.
But have you not thought about charging for core and then charging extra for the inventory and then charging extra for the attributes and then extra for the other shenanigans?
So inventory, attributes, and core are all separate products. And then inventory is based on core, and attributes is based on core. But inventory and attributes are not connected as a product, right? You'd have to go up to Prodigy, and then Prodigy would connect all that. So I can just continue to produce products that are based on core, and sell those. But
I'm trying to work out ways of how to get you money. And you don't seem to like money.
No, I'm not a fan. I love to be broke and poor and struggle. Struggling is really the secret to life. But I didn't want to have a bad business model, you know. And there's a lot of like when you get the amateurs involved, right? And they're still learning, and I didn't want them to have a lot of grief when it came to buying the products,
Yeah.
you know. I didn't want them to come in and be like, "Oh, I bought, core, and oh, you mean I got to upgrade for inventory?" And then it's just like micro purchases, and I'm like, I don't want to be that guy. So I just want to deliver a good product. I feel like, the ecosystem, if you're involved with Prodigy, involved and everything, if you're staying in that ecosystem, then it pays for itself, right? So just go buy Prodigy for 120 bucks or 60 when it's on sale, and it's going to be fine. I'll get 120 bucks out of it, and then when I make new products, you'll be like, "Oh yeah, that was good value," right? So I feel like a merit-based system is something I'm more interested in.
Chaz, like Messi's mind is blown by this clever, like that, product packaging system. There you go. Is there a discount if I already bought inventory? Pixel Shenanigans asked.
Yeah. So all of the upgrade it's basically like if you pay 40 bucks, and then that goes towards Prodigy, more or less. That's how the upgrade map works. If you own core, then there's like a what, $20, $30 discount on Prodigy.
So if you buy inventory now while it's in sale, what do you get for free?
Core.
So what's the question? Is you can buy Vault inventory currently on sale for less than you would normally buy Vault Core, and you get it with it, no brainer. Yeah, exactly. But what I would do is I would pay a little bit more and buy Prodigy and get everything.
Yeah. That's what I would do.
That's what
I mean,
yeah.
if it's the most value for sure. Like you're gonna get all the products. You're gonna get the little damage pips thing, and all these guys have lost it. There we go. You're gonna get the little damage pips and all that stuff that comes with the system. And maybe it's not like the best thing on the planet, but this is a game you can definitely. I could just take this package and sell it on Steam. Like, it's endless. The what is it? The endless.
Did you just say you're gonna flip your own asset on Steam?
No, but you could, right? That's what I'm saying. Like this is in a good enough state where you could do that, right? And so when it comes to buying stuff on the asset store, what's your goal, right? Is your goal to pump something out on Steam, or is your goal to have fun and like make your own thing? Either way, this works great for you because I've proven with this demo that you can do like a decent game, and you just got to do development work. And then if you want to get really deep
Don't
with it,
expect people to
yeah,
make games with assets
yeah.
they purchased.
So
That's not what people
yeah,
buy
well,
things for.
we talked about how my eyes were bigger than my stomach. Maybe I bit off more than I chew, and there wasn't I didn't have time for that make MMO button. But uh, yeah, I mean, it's here, and the architecture for the framework is really good. So it's all inheritance based. There's some nice interfaces and callbacks, so you can plug in other tools like a dialogue system or whatever.
I tell you
If you
what,
want to build quests.
if you stop sharing your screen, all right. So I go back to your beautiful face.
There we go.
Okay. Is your camera back? Where's your camera disappear to?
Oh, I don't know. Is my camera on? Yeah, it's on.
I can't see your camera anymore.
Oh, that's on you, buddy. Maybe you need to restart the Teams.
Spotlight for everyone. I'll spotlight you. You highlighted this video for everyone in the meeting. Oh, because I'm watching your video still? Your video's gone. All right.
Wait, your video's gone. Here, I'll turn my
on.
camera off. I'll turn my camera off and on.
To turn it on and off again.
Yeah, I did it. I don't know why my
we go.
portrait's not up there.
Here we go. You're back again. Beautiful. Okay. So, I'm now in Unity 2021. Okay.
That's a lie. Oh, there, that one. That's 21.
You dirty liar. So, if I click play, is it gonna break? Let's see. While it does, I'm going to have a look at chat. Evdom, I really appreciate this interview and deep dive. I was curious about the asset and wasn't quite sure what's in the box. You're going to find out what's in the box. Okay. Fresh Meat's back in chat. Hello, Freshie. Where you been? Happy New Year. This isn't creepy at all. It's not creepy at all. Exclamation mark Cleverous in chat. Thank you. Oh, no. At the theatre, waiting for 3 hours, dances with the blue people. Smurfs, the last airbender. Okay, or Blue Man group. There we go. So Yolan, while you wait your 3 hours queue, we're going to try and break this. So what type of, like, what's the most extreme game I could make then with Prodigy? And we're saying single player. Could I make local co-op?
Yeah, actually, I'm solving that problem right now. So I'm the way that I'm developing all this stuff is ultimately my goal in doing any of this development stuff was to make a game that I could play with my friends, and that has turned into like a 10-year monstrosity of development and publishing on the asset store. But yeah, so I want to do local co-op next, and so the game that I'm making, I'm targeting Steam, and hopefully later I can port it to Switch, but it'll be out on Steam for sure. And I just got local co-op kind of working with the inputs and stuff like that, and so I'm pretty happy with that. But all of that, it's all built on Prodigy and Vault, right? So whatever I do in that game, if I fix a bunch of bugs and add features and stuff like that, well, I just port all that back to Prodigy in the Vault system, and it goes to the users.
You're the gift that keeps on giving. By the way, I seem to have broken something with the physics. Every now and again, somebody explodes into the sky.
No, that's the glory of ragdolls, man. You can't be upset about that. Yeah, just breaking flesh apart and ripping it to shreds. That's totally normal.
It's the way that it deforms as it flips.
You can use abilities, push E and Q and shift and stuff. Wow. There you go. Blow some things up. Why? There's not near enough explosions here.
What the heck? What did I just do? I'm stuck in the tree.
Uh-oh. Now you got to blow up the bad guys or they're going to kill you.
What did you told me to click shift.
What did you think you could walk through bad guys? You thought this was some sort of like silly little platformer?
I've seen Walking Dead. Oh, like that. Where's all my health gone?
Your health is you can see it over your head. These guys are kicking your butt, man.
Because I was doing it right until you told me to use add-ons. Well,
you can change your weapon with tab.
I'm not going to do another button because I'm going to die.
You're going to definitely die.
Man, I died. I did not do well at all. That was terrible. I was shocking at that, wasn't I?
Yeah, pretty bad. I'm not going to lie.
Alright, so it's been more than 20 minutes. So I'm obligated to ask, when does ESS support happen?
The what? ECS.
Yeah.
Oh God, no. No.
Are you a fan of dots and the dot revolution?
Oh my God, you got to change weapons.
Okay, how did I die so quickly?
You can't.
Oh my God!
You're on wave. Yeah, there's just you're just dead. You're not gonna.
I spawned.
Hey, you know what this really proves though? Respawning works great.
Oh, if you just wait long enough, they get bored and go away.
Yeah.
And then you revive.
Maybe, but you're gonna have to change weapons.
Is this a feature?
Well, I don't know if it's a feature. It's like a function of the AI. You can teleport. Yeah, you can just restart. You're not gonna last long. Oh my God, this is painful.
What's the teleport button?
Shift.
Okay.
It's basically blink, and if you played Overwatch, it's tracer blink.
It's I need to play Overwatch, and it's embarrassing that I haven't played Overwatch.
All right, it's Destiny's like. What do you call it? The jump teleport thing?
Oh, no, I've just killed all your FPS.
Yeah, now you're killing everything here.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, Daddy's home.
Oh, you might make it.
Daddy's home.
Oh, I think you've confused him enough. You've broken the nav mesh. That's real success. When you know you're doing good when you break the nav mesh and the AI is like, we don't know what's happening anymore.
Oh no! Get away from me!
Gotta teleport. Yes. Oh, don't run that way. You'll be in a dead end. Change weapons. Push
I
tab.
pushed tab.
Yes, the gold one. This is what you want. This is the noob cannon.
Who stole my FPS? Alright, so
There you go.
That's
yeah,
what I
make
get.
it stop. Yes, yes.
The noob cannon. Messy's getting messed up. Like Consuelo. No. Yes.
No, not today.
Let's do this. So what are these mushrooms that I'm picking up?
I don't think you're picking up any mushrooms. I think you're picking up little blue and red potions.
Oh, they just look like mushrooms
Points.
because of the little glow that's underneath them.
Oh, there are some mushrooms, yeah. That was one of the assets that I was like, I really want to put these on the ground. And then Triforge was like, that'd be great.
Can we know what game for Steam and Twitch will be? Did I hear wrong? Well, you can basically just asset flip this and put it on Steam.
Yeah, if you really wanted to.
Is the gist of what you're saying. But you know what? It'd be great if we had this as a Twitch co-op. What's going on with these ones over here? They seem to be a bit upset. So if I now go into... I'm going to pause it while this is going on. So are we able to see the magic behind how everything's working?
I mean, yeah, you can look around in the scene view and see all the stuff going on.
Is this UMA compatible? I want to see why not.
So here's how character generation works. In Prodigy right now, you can instantiate a prefab, and that is your avatar for your player, right? And that's just kind of how the system works right now. But if you wanted UMAs, you can extend the system to modify how it spawns your avatar. You just override it, extend it, and set up UMA to spawn in your custom mesh or whatever. I did sort of the same thing in Disaster Company when I'm working on it here. I basically have a character generator that builds a mesh on the fly at runtime, and I just override the creation method and tell it that I want to bring in this mesh and then attach it to these objects, and the animator hooks up to it and everything just works. So I can build meshes on the fly, right? So it's not too hard to extend and change that behavior if you wanted it to be UMA compatible, but it's not in the box.
So are there any limitations on the type of game that you can make? 3D, 2D, XYZ?
The way the architecture works, technically no, except for the actual 2D system in Unity, which is, I don't know, I feel like you'd have to overhaul a lot to make it work with the actual 2D system. But if it's 3D and you're doing like top-down pixel graphics or whatever, and everything's just regular game objects and 3D physics, then yeah, you could pop your 2D art in there as sprites, right, and do that.
I could stick a first-person camera on this, couldn't I, as well, or third-person?
The way that the locomotion and all that stuff is set up, I'm just using a basic Unity controller, right? But all you would need to do is just override the way the camera works and override the way that inputs and locomotion is applied, and do your whatever you want, like first person or whatever. When we were doing beta testing, there was this guy, he was on the Universe Simulator team, and so he came along and made like a third person shooter out of it in the beta. And I was like, oh wow, okay. So I just kept pushing in that direction. I was like, okay, well, I can just keep adding on to this and give you this ability, like extend this for you and make it possible, and you can do whatever you want. And it was pretty cool, man. He asked for a like a location based damage system and stuff, and so it's kind of set up for that too. Yeah.
Oh, these little things are spawning again. What wave am I'm on? Wave 3. This is embarrassing.
No, no, no. It loops over. You've probably done it like 2 or 3 times. It's okay. You're not that bad. You're doing good.
Are you just being nice to me?
No, Messi, I'm really proud of you. I've actually never seen anybody play my demo this long, so it's
You never
pretty
seen
great.
anyone break it as much as.
Well, I mean, you haven't broke a whole lot. Those are floating in the air, which is weird. I don't know why that's happening, but other than that, it seems like it's going pretty smooth.
My FPS has come back to normal now, so that's good.
Yeah, it's usually the ragdolls and the nav meshes. They start really just kind of making Unity cry
Oh,
if
you
you get too
do.
much stuff.
Yeah, you do need to turn off your ragdolls when they're. Even my Chicky Taxi, I was like, oh, disable everything until needed. That's why I really liked the physical based uh, character that we played about with last week, because it's basically you can have it so it doesn't do anything until he gets hit, and then suddenly, ta-da! I'm an active ragdoll, and then I'm not an active ragdoll anymore until he gets hit again, which is really good for
The
performance.
yeah the way it works here is so the location it kind of once I made the location based damage system, I just used those same colliders for the ragdolls, and so all of the colliders are actually on your character already when they're spawned, so it doesn't do a replacement or anything. It just basically activates the ragdoll colliders, the rigid bodies, and all that stuff, and then makes it where they don't collide with the bullets anymore, and then it just falls off into space. It was kind of fun doing that because I had to set up like a velocity system. When you actually kill somebody, all the damage it sends over a structure in the back end, right? So if you get hit, you get a damage structure, and it tells you who shot you, like the inherited velocity of the bullet and all that stuff. And so I like ramped that stuff up into oblivion, and then started blowing away at my ragdolls. It was pretty hilarious. You can hit them against trees, and they're just like flapping around, and it was kind of cool.
Hard to change the player avatar.
No, it's not. So go to see if I can find where's your project hierarchy?
Down here in the bottom left.
Okay. Open up maybe it's the menu, or
Where do you want me to go?
let me think. I haven't opened the demo for a while and changed the avatar. Where's the prefabs? Prefabs.
Prodigy.
Yeah, so go to Prodigy, then example, then prefabs, and you'll see the player template on the right.
Prodigy.
Take a look at that. Template. Yeah. Oh no, don't put it in there.
Oh, it's there. Sorry.
All that gets managed automatically. So click it, and then no, that's not it. Where's it? Check out the maybe it's the system. Maybe I should just open it over here. I can't read your screen. What am I doing? Let me look around for a second, and I'll answer your question. It's a drag and drop a prefab. That's all there really is to it. But I forget where it goes. Let's see. Open up Sandbox. Game operator. Oh, okay, yeah. So there's where's your screen at? There you are. So in the scene, if you go to
should I drag in a character?
Yeah, open up one of the other scenes, either the sandbox or the other one.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Or survival demo, whichever one you wanted. So if you go to the system game operator prefab in your top left, just click on the game operator. This basically, all this does is contains all the junk you need to run the game in the system, all that stuff in the playable scenes. And on the right, you just change who you want to spawn as.
Oh.
So click Eleanor, for example, and change her to somebody else. Preferably not an enemy. I've never actually done that, so I don't know what would happen if you did that, but you could be Leon, and then just go.
Well, yeah, you can actually hit play.
Yeah, you can just hit edit, and it'll open up the dashboard.
Oh, hang on.
There you go.
Hello, Leon.
Leon Gradius, here with the mustache.
This is lovely.
Yeah,
Ooh.
so this is basically Vault is got this dashboard, right? So it's just creating a default inspector for your actual scriptable objects. So you no longer need to look at for them in your project hierarchy. You look for them in your dashboard, and they're all listed for you, and they're categorized by type, all that nice stuff, right? So here you're just looking at Leon and all of his settings, and you can set like what his stats are, what kind of items he gets when he spawns, the size of his inventory, how fast he moves, all that stuff. You can change all that.
I realized that your camera was blocking the inspector for everyone at home. So I'm making you nice and
Yeah,
small.
I got a big head. It gets in the way a lot of times.
There you go. Look at that. Now you're all cute and small in the corner. Alright, so if I click play now, I'm going to be Leon. Where's the actual prefab is here. And
yeah,
we've got a Prodigy agent on there. Agent inventory, equipment, abilities.
Oh, it goes on. It keeps going.
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
It just keeps going.
IK
Yeah.
manager, hurt trigger, react to damage, def handler. God, my word.
Yeah. No, it's full of stuff. Man, one of the reasons it's like that is because I didn't want monolithic classes that you couldn't take parts off of, you know? Like if you want the ability system for your game, then just, it's already broken apart. It's already separated for you. It's not buried inside some massive character class,
I do love that. I even find it very difficult myself maintaining my own stuff when I go, oh, here's my class with 50,000 lines of code.
Yeah. Now, which one did I put it on? Nah, you got to separate it more than that. I mean, even with as much as I do separate it, like you have to find a balance between, oh, I separated too much versus, oh, it's monolithic now. They're both bad, but somewhere in between, there's a level of like, oh, okay, this is just right. I can work with this.
I love the fact that you got the AI, like you don't have to go and get a separate AI solution.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna ship it with AI, but I was like, if I don't, it's just what's the point, right? And so they basically just like read what weapon that you throw in their inventory. All the AIs, everybody that's moving and walking around is the same character data and systems. It's not special. Like that enemy you just killed has an inventory, and you can literally just like give him a new weapon on the fly if you want to, and he would be like, oh my goodness, I have a different gun, like, and then he would look at it and be like, okay, the maximum range is this, and then he would base where he walks off of that range and those parameters.
So he can shoot. It doesn't just hack and slash.
No, he can. I don't actually know. I haven't tested the. Wow, now that you mention it, I haven't tested that.
You've never tested giving an NPC a gun.
I haven't. You should do it. That would break it. You haven't really broken anything yet. I'm kind of disappointed. You should do something.
Let's do that.
Put a weapon on the enemy.
Unity's about to delete all window layouts and restore them to default settings. What are you talking about? Okay, so we're gonna try and break it.
Okay.
So let's find.
All right. Whip open the dashboard, and let's do some surgery.
All right then. I should have done the Shift D thing, shouldn't I? To go real
yeah, Control Shift D.
Okay, so we're gonna find one of
these. All right,
these.
so go to the Prodigy agent AI definition. It's right above where you're at now. It's right above the blue thing. No, go down. You've got the agent definition, right? And this basically like describes your character.
What am I looking at?
So okay.
Oh, here it is.
3 columns. Oh. Yeah, 3 columns in the dashboard. Maybe I should just explain this real quick. There's 3 columns in the dashboard. One on the left is basically like your types, your classes. Everything's categorized under them. The one in the middle is all of the scriptable objects instances in your project for that type that you've selected. So you'll see that there's two types of AI definitions. So there's standard AI and then there's the chompers. So if you click the standard AI, you can see like there's some settings for him. You can change how, his field of view and make him like super narrow in vision and decide when he's going to flee and all that stuff and all that. So if you go down on the different class, there's the Prodigy agent definition. And then you can click on the bad guy, the armature, right? So this is where you define every type of agent that you would use, right? So you got like stats in here, you got their loot drop information, you got the starting items, you got the inventory size and configuration there, the move speed and everything like that. Now this isn't like a novel thing. This is just a scriptable object that the system is picking up as a valid data entity. And so you can put whatever you want in here. I mean, I've got abilities in here. I've got items from your inventory and all the way up to character definitions and how you design your characters and stuff like that. So it's like whatever you can cram into a class, you can pop it into the back of the dashboard. And then behind that, there's methods in the class, and you can call those from just regular scripts. So it's super nice. But anyway, if you click on starting items and hit edit,
So clean.
and that'll jump straight to that item, right? So expand that element. And he's starting with a duster sword, but you can change that to preferably not a health potion.
Or ammo.
If he started with a health potion, I don't actually know what would happen if I did that either, but there's the Midas Uni tool. You could pop that on. Don't put the bow on. I don't know what's going to happen. That's an experimental weapon. That's going to break it for sure.
People at home can't see because they're sharing a thing. Hang on, let me. There we go. There's a long list of everything. Green goo. What's the good juju?
That's a weapon. Yeah, I made these like named after Destiny weapons. I don't know if anybody plays Destiny, but there's bad juju and Midas multi-tool and all that. Last word, last paragraph, good juju.
Lawnmower?
That's yeah, give him that. Click that one.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, if this works, this is going to be sweet. So go ahead and hit play.
Does this mean all of them get it now?
Yeah, every one of them is going to get the template weapon, right? So you've designed it to be, when you start, all of your yeah, see the golden gun in his hand now? I don't know if he's going to shoot it or not, but if he does, you're going to die. Oh, God, yeah, you're so dead. Oh, God, it works.
Why couldn't I just give him the same gun that I've got?
Well, I mean, you can.
Who's he looking at?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I never tried him with the ranged weapon stuff, but so this is new for me. This is new territory.
I've got no health left. Oh my God! One shot kills.
Yeah, you're one shot.
Oh my! Stop killing me! There, take that.
Oh man!
Oh!
You're getting messed up, dude.
Oh my gosh! Right, So if I go back to the dashboard, I want to give him the same. What's the gun that I've got? What's it called?
Yeah, it's probably good juju.
Okay. And that one's got limited ammo, and then he has to reload it.
I mean, he's got to reload it, right?
So is he going to reload? Is the AI going to know to reload?
Yeah, he'll reload. Yeah. It's built into the equipment class. All the AI is doing is managing inputs. So this goes back to the whole, like, I wanted to make it deterministic. And if you want to do that, you have to basically just ship out inputs and register them with a specific tick in the game. So like on each frame, all your clients send their inputs. And then the server runs all the inputs and then sends back to the clients like reconciliation information, right? So when I designed it, I was like, well, I better design the AI to be deterministic too, right? So they run off of the same equipment class. They use the same inventory class. You have to literally give them an item like you would a player. And then when they have it, they use it, like a player would. All the same classes are called. It's nothing weird, nothing crazy. It's just the same stuff that a player would have. You could probably spawn as a Zed if you wanted to. I don't know if that would work. Actually, it would not work because I had to write an extension class for the AI. That's right.
I feel bad for
But
killing
yeah,
those jumpers.
it's just inputs. The AI is just literally like, oh, I see that my character's in view and I can look at him. So I'm gonna flip the thing that says, my mouse button is down for triggers. And then when it flips it, the gun starts shooting. The gun sees that and it starts attacking. So the AI is basically just simulating inputs like a player would.
Oh, and they up here shooting at me while I'm, and then finding me and oh, like I'm up here.
Wow. Wow. I'm actually surprised that this works.
And they
Thought
wanting
this
to keep range and not run up to me to stab me.
Well, that's the valid range for the weapon, right? So as long as I think there's a parameter on the weapons. It's like it's valid for this range, right? So if they see that they're inside that range, then they'll be like, okay, yeah. So you got scroll down, take a look, and your ammo capacity. Maybe some more down. Is there more? Yeah, there you go. Area of effect, ranged weapons, impact force, max travel distance. So the projectiles disappear after 10 meters, basically. So the AI is going to look at that and be like, okay, well, there's no point in pulling the trigger if he's more than 10 meters away. So they just navigate to a point where they're close enough and then shoot you.
Oh my word. So I was asking, what mechanisms are in place to manage all those events being fired each frame? And did you give any insight into why the FPS dropped when we were playing earlier?
I haven't. I mean, the FPS quality is really bad on Microsoft, so I don't know. When was it dropping?
When I had all of those white robots spamming the screen.
Oh, back on the survival
Yeah.
thing? That's usually the navigation system. At least in my experience, it's been the navigation system just trying to continuously navigate. And also the ragdolls, like all of those avatars are ragdoll ready, right? So there's literally like what, 10 or 12 colliders on every single one of them, and they're just waiting to be ragdoll. So Unity's physics is working back there, and the navigation system's trying to reconcile the fact that it literally cannot navigate because there's so many obstacles in the way, right? So it's just like really fighting a lot of stuff when you get that much stuff going on. And some of that is like when you get to build your game, you're going to have to start looking into that. Like you may not have this problem if you're building a game where there's like synthetic, right? If you've seen that, this is a similar type of game, right? But in synthetic, there's only like 2 or 3 guys on the screen all the time. So if you're building one of those games, you're never going to see that kind of problem. But if you go over here and you're like, oh, I want to make they were billions or whatever, well, you're going to need to migrate to dots. Like there's limitations and you have to start being realistic about stuff. Like maybe eliminating ragdolls will solve a lot of that computational load for you and you won't have to worry about it. Or maybe implementing a better navigation system like, what is it, A-Star Pro or something? Maybe that solves a lot of navigation problems. But that's really up to however you decide to diverge when you're building your game, right? Like this won't exist for all players, and so I'm not going to go and engineer solutions for these problems that may not even be problems for most players or developers.
I love. Do you know what? I love you and I hate you because uh, I'm not sure you've seen my failed attempts when I was trying to make my Messi's ultimate skill tree, Messi's ultimate customization, Messi's ultimate potato, and
Mm.
I spent all my time instead of writing proper code, editing the custom inspectors. That
Mm.
literally is 99% of the time that I spent was how to make custom inspectors look nice. And yours is so easy to use and pretty. Oh, I hate you.
Yeah,
Look how pretty it is.
it's using the UI toolkit system. So back in like 2017 when I started this, I was like, okay, UI toolkit is going to become a thing, and so I'm just going to get on board now.
Oh, this is the new
And
thingamajig.
yeah, so it's not GUI running this stuff. It's the UI toolkit.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that wasn't without problems though. I mean, I adopted it so long ago. Oh my gosh. It was a nightmare, man. It took a lot of apple juice to make this.
Because I loaded that up when I had a look. I was like, do you know what? I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start using that because that will make my life so much easier. And then 10 minutes later, I closed it and went downstairs and had a cry.
Oh yeah. No, it's tough. But once you get through the big hurdles, it's not too bad. It's just you got to find out what works for you and just stick with it.
Yeah. So the UI toolkit is Unity's replacement GUI system, basically. That they were really pushing at one point on YouTube and the articles, and then Unity suddenly became very quiet and stopped talking about it.
Hmm. Yeah, it was tough. There's a bug. I submitted a bug like 2019 and it still hasn't been resolved. I sent a repro case. So it goes through Q. This is hilarious. I sent it in, QA confirms it in like a day. Like it was a really good repro case. And basically it goes to the engineering. Engineering looks at it like 3 weeks later or something, and they're like, "Oh yeah, no, this is expected because it's
It's a
okay." So
feature.
the asset inspector on the right, you see that? It's on the right, but I'm actually drawing every single property individually and then wrapping it in a container and putting it on the right side of the screen. But they have a function in UI Toolkit that draws the whole inspector just by default. But you want to know what's crazy? Are you ready for this?
Tell me.
It has to be on the leftmost side of the editor window that it's parented to.
What?
Otherwise, all of the fields just blow up and go stretching into oblivion. It's crazy, right? So I send in this repo case and I'm like, look, here's some code docking it on the left, and here's some code docking it in a column on the right. Here you go. And QA's like, yeah, man, looks good. And then the engineers get it and they're like, yeah, but if you dock it on the left, it doesn't happen. And they closed it and said it's working as designed. I'm like, are you kidding? This can't be possible. So yeah, it's just been that was 2019 when it's just been like stuff like that. But I know that they've been having a hard time with how they wanted to design this. They had really big aspirations for doing all this UXML stuff and making it where you could just pipe in like web kind of layouts and then it would be done. But
Yeah, when I saw
I think
that, I was like, wow, I'm gonna make UI as like I'm making a website. It's gonna be awesome. This is gonna
yeah.
be so easy. Life makes
No,
sense again.
I think for web developers, they probably grasp a lot of that more. But really, when you look at the way that the architecture is laid out from a programming perspective and as a user, it's really difficult. Like, man, it's like they did some stuff that's really cool, but the obtuse way that you have to get to it is just weird, man. And so the writing the code for it is just hard. Some guys really like it, but I think they have a very, very different background. They come from web and stuff like that, but I didn't like it. It's been hard.
Well, I love what you've done with it.
I mean, I made 3 columns and some buttons. Like, it's not that big of a deal.
Well, I'll show you what I did. We can compare. We can compare
Like this,
windows.
this should be way easier. I'm gonna be honest. This should be way easier to do this than it was.
It does feel like Unity are like, why do people need to make custom windows and
Yeah,
interfaces? Why would they do that? Just make a game. You don't need to make a custom
yeah. Why
inspector
do you
to make
want
a game.
tools? You don't need tools. That's crazy.
Just go and make your game and leave us alone.
Yeah. No, but I use this stuff on my own when I'm building a disaster company and stuff. So I'm aware of the handicaps and the difficulties with user experience, and I try to resolve those when I can.
So I want to have a quick peek at your inventory demo scenes. So do I need to install inventory separately?
No, I don't think that the example is included. So minimize, they're all wrapped under the Cleverous folder, right? So you can go and jump in there and see if it's there. So go and dig down and see if the example is there. Just a couple of the
Uh,
scripts. Okay, so
yeah.
Prodigy used a couple of example scripts, but yeah, the example's gone. So what you'll need to do is start a new project and import inventory
So I can't import it
separately.
into this project, otherwise it'll explode.
No, it'll be fine. But I mean,
Should I?
yeah, yeah,
Should I
okay,
try
yeah,
it?
you could do that. Sure, yeah,
Should
just
we
do
do it?
that. Import inventory on top of it. Yeah.
Are you,
I mean, worst case scenario, we break stuff and then we enjoy it, right?
you're not gonna blame me if it breaks, are you?
Nah, I don't think it'll break. It'll be fine.
I'll tell you what. We managed to give AI a gun. And that's something we managed to do something together that you've never done before in your own bedroom.
Well, you know what happens is I'm writing this code and this is difficult for asset developers that build tools like this. I'm serious. This is hard because I'm sitting there and I'm building disaster company and I'm like, yes, you could give the AI a magical wand. If you so willed it, you could watch me make game. You could
If
do
you
that.
build it, they will come.
If you build it, they will wand. But yeah, it's tough because when I'm building disaster company, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to code this up and it's going to be done. And I'm not thinking about everybody else. I'm thinking about me. Like, I'm never going to come back here and want to extend this to be something different, right? So I don't have to worry about the architecture in that way. But with the tool that you're selling on the asset store, the architecture has to become inherently complex because you have to prepare for the user. It's going to be like, I want to be able to use a keyboard, but then pick up a controller and just like, and then I'm going to add a player, but that player is going to be on joystick. So I want that to be possible. And
While
so
I
you have,
rub jam in my hair.
what?
While I cover my body in mayonnaise, but the mayonnaise must not get on the keyboard, or I give you a 1-star review. What's my asset got to do with mayonnaise? 1 star. Have you? What's the weirdest feedback you've got so far?
Oh, somebody told me that they loved me as a developer, and I've never talked to them. That was weird for me.
That they love you as a developer, and that was the only
Yeah,
communication they've ever given to you.
it's actually the only review on Prodigy. They're like, I love this developer and this asset. I'm like, why do you love me?
I've seen that review.
I didn't understand. Like that was very confusing for me.
Let's go find it. I've seen that review. I thought that was what a
It,
really good
it's
review.
and it was super early. Like it was right after I released it, and there was like bugs and stuff, and they were just like, "Oh, it's so awesome." I thought myself like, "What?" But I don't remember seeing this person in my Discord,
Is
right?
this the
So I'm
one? Bontas.
yeah, this is the one. Yeah,
Honestly, I highly
so nice.
recommend
This is
this.
great. Look, it's like version one.
I had the devs old as it definitely, and I was super excited to hear about this coming out. And damn, he did an amazing job. Everything is simple, and if you get stuck, he replies super quick on Discord. So don't hesitate about buying it.
But I don't know who this is. Like I don't
I
know.
think are you just confused by the fact that people's names on the Unity asset store don't
I
match their
am.
Discord like that?
I am.
That blew your
Yeah.
mind.
It blew my mind, I guess. Like but reading that someone loves you is strange in a review. You know what I like? I typically see in reviews. I typically see pros and cons or like works good or this is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. I hope the developer dies, some crazy stuff like that. But it's pretty rare that someone says that they love you, you know?
I don't mean to like burst any kind of bubble that you may have built on that. I'm gonna say that it maybe didn't really mean it, that they
Maybe.
actually love you.
Don't take this away from me.
So I don't want to destroy your dreams.
It's okay.
Right, let's have a look at this sexiness here. I mean, this in itself, this is lovely. Who made the artwork on this one?
This is from Kay Loosberg. If you know Kenny assets, are you familiar with those? So Kenny has in his Discord this guy. I'm pretty sure it's Loosberg, Kay Loosberg, but he made a bunch of these art assets, right? All these tiles and everything, and the little wagon and the characters and stuff. So the cool thing is you can buy them on Patreon, and they're Creative Commons zero. So you can sell them, right? And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. So I just popped them in the demo.
And they're pretty.
Yeah. I really like the just okay, something's wrong there. That's not loading right.
Screen
Oh, you got
position out of
errors.
view. First jump. Screen. Pause.
I don't
None.
know. That's
None. None. Oh, it's made me think about. The missus says, basically, our diet starts again next week.
Hmm.
So we're allowed to eat whatever we want until next week. We're going to have an Indian tomorrow.
Oh no. Something's broke because you don't have any stuff in your inventory.
I don't have any stuff in my inventory.
Oh, you know what?
Is it because it's
Uh,
reading the
nope.
settings from your game, Prodigy?
Yes. But yes, because Prodigy does it like takes over taking the input system, it takes the everything
There you go.
itself. So it's not running in the background.
Ah, okay.
So
So
yeah, but you can just make a new project if you wanted to look at this demo.
do you have one already that you could share your screen to show us?
Yeah, sure. Let me spin it up.
Because you know it takes about 60 years for Unity to make a new project.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Let me see where it's at. Vault.
Let's try and find. Wait, I've got another one. I can stick in a HDR. I've got a blank HDRP project that I'm going to use. What? Do you think it would explode if I put this in a HDRP project?
Probably. I mean, why not? It's HDRP. Of course it's going to explode.
Have you played much with the other
No.
render pipelines?
No, I hear it's a lot better,
Do you hear good
but
things?
I hear it's a lot better. That doesn't mean good, but I've heard it's better. And I see people saying like, it's making good results and they're working with it and everything, but I'm not prepared to use that in production. No, that's not a thing. I mean, we actually have in our FAQ section on the documentation, we state that we don't support it in any of our products, period, until further notice. So
It
we're
states,
very
please,
clear.
please
Do
go,
not blame us if this doesn't work in HDRP.
please go away, never to return.
Yes.
If you wish to
Yeah.
use HDRP.
Yeah.
All right, so
Okay, I got the project open if you wanted
okay,
to
yeah, let's do
forward.
this.
I don't know if I may need to reboot, because
Right, I'm looking at you.
you got it.
I'm looking at it.
All right, cool. Here we go. I'll load it up. I'm actually going to do this with a controller.
Oh no,
So
really?
here we go. Here we go.
Man,
This was the big reason I did this update. This used to look a lot different, and I used Kenny's assets, and it was nice. Like I really appreciated his assets being available and open source and everything or whatever, CC0, because it just allowed me to get going. And I'm sure it's helped a lot of other people to get going and have something cute and nice to have in their demo and all that. But um, yeah, so when I renovated the asset demo, my goal in doing that was to add controller support. And it was a huge feat to do that, actually, because the input system and all the callbacks are based on like, okay, you did pointer click or you did pointer drag, but all that changes when you shift over to the controller. It's now completely different callbacks, and you don't get any of them with the controller clicks and stuff.
So this is the
So
new input system.
yeah, this is we've migrated to the new input system for all of our stuff. So if I'm using inputs, it's coming straight out of the new input system for sure. Because I couldn't find a way to support both. It was just too confusing. Like it got way too hard. But yeah, it was a lot of effort to go into making a system that worked good for like controllers and stuff. And you can get the tooltips. Like one of the questions is, when do you bring up a tooltip? Is it when you're hovering, or is it when you're moving it, or is it when you click it? So there's this concept of engaging a slot, and you can engage it, and it keeps a like a touchstone of like, okay, this is the engage slot. You're going to move it over here, and it does it. And then, if you're just moving around, nothing's in your way. And then if you engage it, you get the description. It's got the price and all that stuff in there. You can change all that. But yeah, it was a lot to work over to get it to work with gamepads. But I can just actually put the gamepad down and start using my mouse and drag these things around too. So it's really nice.
Dun, 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 multiple inputs.
Dun, dun, dun. Dual inputs. I was pretty happy about that. That was a big upgrade, really, when it came to the input system and how it worked and all that stuff.
This is one of the things that kind of most inventory system people are focusing on the code behind it, and then they go like, make your own UI, because the inventory system is the code. You've got a lot of work that you've put in actual the UI in being a feature
definitely
in this kit.
Yeah, I mean, there's an argument for like, working in that direction. I mean, there's some like user responsibility when it comes to that, but you don't want them to have to pick up your system and then not have any success right out of the box. Like, you want them to be able to do cool things like right out of the box, and you want them to feel good, like, okay, this is possible. And people come in and they're like, hey, can I get some help doing this? And I'm like, well, does it work in the demo? And I'm like, just go look at the demo. And they go look at it and they're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I'll do it like that. And but without that, I'd have to explain that to every single individual, on a case-by-case basis. And so that was really part of the value for me in the demo, was to help users see that you can do this. Like, you don't need anybody else. You can figure this out. You can look at the example scripts. It's not super hard. And this tool allows you to do that by giving you the examples.
But is it easy to then change this?
Yeah, because all the callbacks are Unity-based callbacks, right? And there's not like, can you give me an example of like what you would change in this UI?
So it would be kind of like, let's say, a DayZ looking type of inventory.
I don't. What is it? Oh, you mean not the grid-based? Yeah. Not at the. No, the answer is no. That's the one thing that I'm not able to support. You could like hack your way around it to make it work like that, but whew, man, it's a whole nother bag of tricks to do that. The way it works on the back end is very like, I'm talking to this slot. Like, this is the information I'm talking to, and that's how it works. But as soon as you go to a place where you're like, all right, this grid actually, this item actually occupies like 12 slots, and now you have to, on the back end, like connect all of that stuff, and it just becomes a completely different system. So I realized that when I was making it, I could never support that and support the other system without massive effort. And the number of users that were interested in having that, like,
3
spatial. Yeah, no, it was, but that whole spatial concept in the UI is like, nobody really wanted that, right? Everybody wanted the grid-based stuff, like, oh, here's an item, and then you just get it. And it's that simple. So I decided not to do that.
And people haven't really come knocking, asking for it.
I think I've had like 2 users ask for it in 6 years.
One of them isn't me. It's not me. If anyone's wondering, I wasn't the one who was asking about it. just to let you know that.
Oh, the Twitch chat?
No, I'm preempting Twitch. Like, hey, was that you who asked out those 2 people?
Oh, yeah, no, but there's lots of, most of the users that have come back with feature requests have been very, very practical requests. And so I just implement them and then pop them into the base asset, and all the users benefit. I love those kinds of requests. I love it when users come up to me and they're like, hey, can you just do this? And I'm like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like, that would be a good feature, or that would be a nice change, And that's really beneficial to me. It's beneficial to everybody. And so I'm all about that kind of stuff. But changing the whole concept of the system to support what less than 1% of the user base wants, nah, that's not realistic. No asset developer wants that.
So if you go to your Windows, like how do we add items to be supported in the inventory?
Yeah, so it's just like in Prodigy. Just pop open the dashboard and you're accessing all your information. So you got your apples here, like we've got a reference to that, and some of it comes with, like basically this class, this example class comes with some information and built into it, and you can extend that class to and contain more information, like the root items, for instance, these weapons, they don't have the functions to be usable. So you can't use them. You can't run the use operation on them. But they have other information like weight and attack value and everything. And then the consumables are usable, right? And there's a little sound and there's a cooldown and stuff like that, right? And this is really just straightforward class differentiation, right? So if I click on this button, I can ping the class and open it up and let Microsoft spin up real quick and show you. This is just extending the usable item, and it's got just one little extra value here defined for the sound, and then it overrides how it behaves when you use it, when you finish using it, and when you cancel using it, right? And of course, we don't have anything to do for these two, right? So just whenever you use it the first time, it just calls it a day, and that's it, right? Simple item.
Very
If you
clean.
back up, yeah, it's got to be clean. Once you get to scale on a project, oh, you'll wish this stuff was clean. No, but usable item is just a simple abstract class, and then all of the hotbar and everything is built into it. So let's say I want to put it on the hotbar and use it. I can just play. I can open up. Where is it? There it is. Grab my apple, bring it down to my hotbar, and then let's see. How do I? Oh, I don't have any shortcuts for that. Maybe it's one. Oh no. I think I took out the example shortcut.
Oh dear. Straight into the question of how much of a game can you make without code? Would we have to code back in the shortcuts, or are they by GUI?
Yeah. So it's kind of like, what do you want? Do you want number keys? Like if I hard code number keys into the hotbar, that means some users got to go change it. They change that hard coded stuff, right? So I think I can do it with the mouse. Let me close this and lock the hotbar, and there we go. Okay. So I can do it with the mouse here since I don't have a shortcut on my gamepad. But yeah, it's just using the item, and it's reading the cooldown time. You've extended the class and it just does it. So just a simple example of, oh, the hotbar's locked. Let me unlock it. Put that back. Here we go. Lock it again. Eat that. And it'll consume it out of your inventory. And you can see the numbers. Well, probably not. I'm on 4K. This is really tiny, but you can see the numbers going down and stuff, right? But it's just a simple extension to get this stuff working. And weapons work the same way in Prodigy. They're mounted onto the characters and based on their slot types and everything. You can just use them.
It looks so simple to use.
It's pretty easy. I don't like doing hard things. So I try to make hard things as simple as possible when I can. And I'm using this stuff too, right? So I have no interest in making it difficult.
And that's the cool thing, is that you are actively making your game based off this, so that the bugs and the new features that you're thinking of in your game are going into this asset so people can use it.
Yeah. Yep. And if I wanted to make like a new item here too, I could just push the button, and we're at runtime, right? We're creating data in the editor. You can do it at runtime too. I can select a new icon and be like, okay, well, it's going to be this button Y, and it's going to have no restrictions, and the art prefab is going to look like the grapes. It's going to have a max stack size of 79. It's going to be worth 38 a piece, and there's no extra interactions. The cooldown time will be 8 seconds. And then all I have to do to make that appear in the game is go over here to the thing that is spawning all of these things. Where is that thing? Content. example item spawner. And so I can just add a new one or change these. Let's just change it. I'm gonna get blank. I'll change them all to blank because that's my item name. And so we're still at runtime. And I should just be popping up a bunch of grapes over here pretty soon.
Where are your grapes?
There they
There
are. So if I go to my inventory, there's my buttons. And we didn't
There
even
we go.
leave runtime.
Oh my
We
word.
created this in the editor. So here's the question. When I leave the editor, what's going to happen?
It's going to explode into...
When I leave runtime. All right, watch. I leave it. All right, let's go look. Let's go back to the dashboard. Oh, our item is still
Power
there.
of scriptable objects.
Magic. So this was super cool when I was using all of the obviously our references that we made. We changes at runtime are not going to stay on the inspector because that's a scene object, right? But all of the data on your scriptable objects is not related to your scene. So if you change it in the editor, it changes, period. If you create new assets at runtime in the editor, they stay there. They're on your disk. All that information is packed into your disk. So yeah, you can sit there and make new weapons and like throw them onto the characters at runtime if you want to. No big deal.
See if they are pokey and sharp enough. I'm really impressed with this. I've got to say, I'm shocked that this isn't known more on the asset store. You haven't got more big fanfare done by Unity because it's not like this came out last week. This has been on there for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been around for a while. At first, it was pretty clunky, but since we did this update with the graphics and I started dog fooding it more, it's been a lot better and made a lot of improvements and it's become pretty formidable. I think it's a really excellent solution, even as a user. Like I find this attractive. Um, so I'm about it.
What about serialization? So we started the stream talking about the joys of serialization. How are we saving our data now in the actual game itself?
Oh, serialization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jimmy here, he's got his apples in his bag, and he wants to save his inventory and go and turn it off because Mummy says it's bedtime.
Yes. Okay. So we have where is this inventory stuff? Do I have it open? I can open it here. Inventory. So if we go to the inventory class, we'll see there is, well, maybe it's not. Okay. To state. Yeah. Okay. So we have a couple of classes methods that initialize the inventory. And you don't have to read all this garbage, but basically you can initialize the inventory from an inventory state. And an inventory state can be JSONed, right? So we have methods for JSONing this inventory state class, which keeps a record of the database keys. And for each of those keys, it tracks how big that stack is. So really an item in your inventory is simply a reference number to find it in the database and then how many of it is in that stack. So serializing it is pretty straightforward, and you can serialize the entire inventory by pushing it down to a JSON to inventory state.
That is lovely. So I'm encouraged that A, the publisher is willing to show code, and B, the classes aren't 10,000 lines long.
Yeah.
10,000 10,000 lines long.
Yeah, this is simple stuff, but really the key is keeping it simple, right? So this is just a list of database keys. Like how do I find the data? Well, it's referenced in the Vault dashboard. The Vault dashboard is making unique keys for every single item that you create, right? So all you have to do is say, hey, the number of that key, the database key, I'm gonna put that in the JSON file, and I have 12 of them. And then when you go read it, it's just like, oh, it's just a matter of looking stuff up. Not that hard. You don't have to serialize the entire item. A lot of the solutions, they're just like, oh yeah, no, just pack the whole item into a file. I'm like, okay, well, your file is going to be 30 megabytes, for 2 or 3 inventories. That's going to get out of control, right? Because you're going to have all that class information. You're going to have records of stuff that you don't even care about, if you serialize all that. So you can make a more complicated serialized solution for each class, but now you're talking about a massive cognitive load for your whole serialization department. Whereas on the other hand, if you just have a reference to the item, how many I've got, super easy.
Namespaces too. Do you use assembly definitions?
Do I use assembly defs? Yeah. So for each of the products, we have let me just open the project settings. Where is it? Editor, player. That's where it is. Other settings. So we scripting defines, we use Vault inventory. Attributes will be in here if you have attributes, and then Prodigy has its own as well. And then for networking in Vault inventory, we piggyback on the mirror and fishnet scripting define symbols here and manage whether or not you're doing a network system. And it's all got a fallback into the imposter system. So if you strip out all your networking, it doesn't care. It just falls back on the single player version.
Oh, that's lovely. Sorry, guys, you'd be amazed how many coders say, "What's assembly def?" I'm moving rapidly to this publisher.
Oh, yeah. Well, we do this, and for the assembly defs, I guess he's probably talking about these because I had a lot of apple juice here. So, yes, we do use these as well, and we keep the GUIs the same, so you don't have to worry about this disappearing. The two missing ones for Vault inventory.
I just realised that, so I can't actually see what you're sharing because you've got your face on there. Because it's
I don't know how to zoom in on. I have a 4K monitor, so this is probably really painful for the viewers. This is like probably the first time everybody is max screened if they cared about this. No, but we do use assembly definition.
I can zoom in this way. Yeah. Hang on. There we go. Because so was like, he's not talking about assembly defs, and like you can't see it. It's on the other side of the screen.
Yeah. So we have the scripting defined symbols to help with managing part of that problem, and then we have the assembly definitions for each of our products. And so the products will reference themselves, and they will operate kind of in a closed network. And it is a little bit annoying sometimes because, like, if you want to extend some stuff and you've got an assembly definition, you may need to be working inside it. And Prodigy, that's a little more complicated, but we did decide to use them for every product. So every product does this. Attributes does it, even though it's simple. The two missing ones are fishnet and mirror. They'll automatically be picked up and use those assembly defs when they appear in the project. So it's all magic, yeah. And you can use it however you need to.
Like the magic. Spider Leopard, cool. Now I'll be able to add 10 dollhouses after only 5 hours. No idea.
10
dollhouses.
Dollhouses.
Good. What are you doing with dollhouses, Spider? And good luck with those.
Yeah. Okay. I don't remember selling dollhouses.
I think it's just generally doing something with dollhouses this new year.
That's cool.
Now you'll be able to do it. Yeah.
Now you can do it. I'm glad that I could afford you that pleasure.
All he needs to upgrade his model library. And there you go. And the asset ! Messy sale. Currently, the asset store's got a huge sale full of art there. But hey, you don't need to. You can just go over to, a lot of these like Kenny or other people and get a load of free stuff, or just pay for their Patreon and get a load of stuff as well. I've bought a lot of Kenny stuff on his Patreon in the past.
Yeah, I was really happy that Kay Lusberg had produced these assets. I mean, they're just so cute. They're really cute. I don't know if you're still zoomed in on that or whatever, but yeah. I mean, they're just so nice, man. When I found out that they were CC0, I was just mind blown. And I put the little the little smoke on it, and I made these little animations so you can move them around and it look cute and everything. The guys wave at you when you walk by, and it was just like so adorable. I just couldn't contain myself.
Aww. Look at your face, it lights up as we're watching you play with it.
Right, it's so cute. Look at it. Look, the little man waves. He waves. Oh my God.
If the person purchases or wins Prodigy Game Framework, when they then go to the store, they would be able to click on Vault Inventory and add it to their cart for free. Is that correct?
Yeah, all of basically our whole library of assets. It's included for free.
I'm just look. I mean, the pricing on here. So Vault is 30, and then you'd pay an extra 10 to get inventory. And then if you've bought inventory, how much do you pay for attributes?
It would be 10 because it's an extension for core.
Okay. And if you own inventory, you'd pay 80 more for Prodigy?
I think so. Yeah, I have a map on my Discord. I have an image that shows the upgrade map. It's just a screenshot from the publisher dashboard, but it shows you the pricing from each product. And Unity will always choose the lowest price if you qualify for multiple updates or upgrades or pricing whatevers, then Unity will just pick the lowest one. So if a sale's on and that's the lowest price, you get that. But if it's full price and you qualify for 3 or 4, it'll pick the lowest one.
There you go. So it works. So the inventory was in a bundle. People are asking.
Inventory in a bundle. It's been in a mega bundle and it's been in other bundle sales.
There you go.
Unity.
That's why people are wondering, like, how I already own inventory. I didn't realize I own it. And like, I think I own it. Was it in a bundle? So now that you've realized you own it, the inventory, and you've seen how it works, you should start using it, everyone in chat. And if you haven't realized, $80 normal discount if you own inventory. Now, with the 50% off, it's $60 to get the Prodigy Game Framework. So it's still a bigger discount. And
plus you get the stylized characters with it.
And
so
you
all
get
those 3D models.
Which are I didn't realize that you thrown these in there as well, because they're great. I love them.
I want people to have enough to work with, you don't want to. One of the tough things that I experienced when I bought frameworks, I started out just as an amateur and I just happened to be interested, right? But one of the problems I ran into was if I bought a framework, these really cool videos were useless because when I opened up the asset, there was no really cool stuff included. So I was like, okay, well, I'll get a model. And then that model had all these issues, right? And it wasn't set up right for the system. And it just, it became like a daisy chain problem. And I'm like, okay, I'll just give you the stuff that I know works. It's set up. You can see how it goes. And if you have questions, I'm available in Discord.
Well, you think people are buying your kit not to just make a text-based game? That's crazy. Maxua Murder says, I'm relatively new to Unity, so I'm trying to build up my assets. Well, Gil's like, no asset addiction yet? Exclamation mark Discord. Join our Discord. Anyone who hasn't joined the Discord yet, where have you been? You've been hiding. You must join our Discord, pardon me, today. Because then your asset addiction is going to grow even bigger. But don't worry, because we keep on doing these live dev interviews, and generous, beautiful badges like Cleverous here, so clever, is giving us away a copy of the Prodigy Game Framework. So the winner is... Do you want to do the drum roll?
Can I do the drum roll? I can do it on my microphone.
Can't. That was...
Did you hear that?
No, but let me put the camera on so they can see your face. How pleased you were with that drum roll.
Wait. Could you hear the drum roll?
I could barely hear it. It was like a cat tapping at a window.
Okay. All right. Well, it's not going to have the same effect.
But the look of pride on your face as you did it.
Look of pride. Wow. All right. I'm going to try a different drum roll. I don't know how do you audibly create a drum roll?
Do a drum roll on your cheeks. That's how you would. That's how you'd like
On my cheek.
make your mouth in with like a pouting. So you do a pout. No, your mouth has to be open. There you
What?
go. And then slack your cheeks, and it makes a noise because your mouth is open, like a circular, and it makes a hollow noise. Have you never done that? That's it. But you got to do it
No,
next to
no.
the microphone so you can hear you.
I can't make a drum roll with that sound. That doesn't make sense to
Okay,
me.
get your finger.
Why
And,
don't you put your webcam
all
on?
right, and
And
do your finger in your mouth and go like that.
I don't think I could do that either.
Okay,
Maybe this will work. Does this work?
it's gonna have to do. And the winner is. Do you know what? That's getting clipped. That's getting
What
clipped
about that?
forever on Twitch with you slapping your cheeks. I'm gonna
Oh my
I'm gonna say
No,
that.
please no. God, I don't want to be a meme.
It's too late. You're gonna be in a YouTube short.
Ugh.
And the winner is Watch Me Make Games. Congratulations. Chris in chat has won a copy of The One Framework to Rule Them All Prodigy Game Framework. Congratulations. And do you know what? We've also been given a present from Etonics. Have you struggled with making icons for your games? Have you ever thought to yourself, I've got all these fantastic looking art assets that I've got in my games, but you know, I don't have any thumbnails or icons for my games? This is really frustrating. How can I make them look really good? Well, now you can with Shadows Sold Studio, Shadowbox Icon Studio. Do you know what, Etonics? You should have the Shadowbox Icon Studio in big writing and Shadowed Soul Studio in smaller writing. I'm just going to say that there because that's my support. I'm going to copy that so I can paste it into the thing. So let's read the blurb. Icon Studio is an editor utility that helps you create accurate icons for your scene objects. Rotate, scale your object, select a background image, an optional foreground image, and click Create Icon. Icon sizing. Easily scale your generated icons up or down without loss. Select your preferred size between 256 by 256 and 4096 by 4096 pixels. Foreground overlays. Easily add overlays to your icons by selecting a foreground image before generation and let Icon Studio do the rest. Transparent icons. Create transparent icons with amazing weapons. That's a big weapon. Or terrifying creepy monsters with the click of a button. Shadowbox Icon Studio does all the heavy lifting of that big weapon for you. Buy it now on the Unity Asset Store. There you go. So, we're giving away one copy of Shadowbox Icon Studio, ! raffle in chat right now. Has that advertisement made you want to grab hold of it?
It really has. I'm pretty hyped right now.
You giddy with excitement?
Yeah, I got chills when you did store.
Are they multiplying?
Yeah.
What are you doing in Mexico, by the way?
I live here.
I'm going to say the accent. I can't place the Mexican accent.
No, it's just because I don't have one. No, I was born in Texas, so I'm from Texas, but my wife is Mexican, so we moved down here. Been here for a year and a half.
It's not too far from Texas. I've watched the movies.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, they are just John Wayne movies that I'm.
I mean, this is a good choice. You know, John Wayne's legit.
My knowledge of where Mexico is entirely based on John Wayne movies.
Well, that could be, like a problem, but other than that, John Wayne's great.
Are you saying geographically it's not accurate? All these movies from the 50s and 40s and 60s.
I
Like,
mean, Mexico's a cool place. So we drove here from Texas. It
oh,
was 35 hour
you
drive.
couldn't just like in the movies. It's like half a
Yeah,
day on a
no, I mean we
horse.
we bordered them in Texas, right? Texas and Mexico border each other, but we drove all the way to the Yucatan, which is close to Cancun. So that was 35-hour drives, but it was really nice because I drove through the whole country. So I got to see all of the whole ecosystem and all the changes and the biomes and everything. It was really
Oh
nice.
wow, that kind of stuff really inspires me, like to make to work on games when I see real life nature like that. Part of me goes, what rendering pipeline did they use for that photo? like, how would I recreate that in Unity? Or
Yeah.
could this even be done in Unity? Would I have to use Unreal? What was it like for you when you were going through all that nature? Where you're like, oh, I really want to now recreate this in 3D.
Mm. No, I mean, when I started on Unity, I started and I had like an obsession with environments. And I think most people do, they want to make like really cool landscapes and they want to get into voxels and dig into the ground and all that stuff. And, it's fun. But after a couple of years, I got all that out of my system and I wanted to I realized that if I wanted to play something, I had to stop just making terrains and adding trees. So then, I got more into programming and everything. But yeah, driving through all that stuff, it's just so beautiful. You get into the mountains and everything, even the deserts. It's just so many changes. Seeing all that was really, really nice to just appreciate all the diversity that they have out.
You've got Prodigy, you've got Vault, you've got all the Vault extensions and the standalones like the inventory. What's next for you? What have we got what have we got planned?
Right now, it's just maintenance for what I have. I have like a dialogue conversation system that I've made, but it uses the Unity's new graph
Oh,
system,
yes.
graph framework, GTK, graph toolkit, whatever they call that thing. But it's such a mess right now. It's like I could never publish anything on it because it's too experimental, right? I don't know what's going to happen with it. But yeah, it works, and I'm going to probably use it in Disaster Company. But if that goes well and Unity stabilizes the API, then I might end up publishing that. But until then, it's basically just maintenance for what I've already got out there. So continued support mostly.
Until your game's out there?
Yeah, once the game's out there, I mean, assets should be pretty significantly upgraded, honestly. Yeah, I've got co-op and like new input system managing. I'll probably have Steam extensions, and if I get a Switch license, or I might do something with that. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, maintenance is significant. It's not always about new features and new
Oh
tools
yeah.
and new things. It's like the Vault inventory's basically been around since 2017, and it's formidable, but if I release a new asset, it's going to come with a lot of issues and it needs to be tested for a while and users got to try and break it and everything. But I think there's a lot of value in having a system of assets that just work, man. Like it needs to be dependable.
It's underappreciated. Just work. And that should be the tagline of
just work.
The Vault series of amazing tools to help you get your game started. Exclamation mark Cleverous in chat. They just work, damn it. They just work. I love it. How can we sign up to be a beta tester for the new stuff? Asks winner of the Prodigy game framework. Watch me make games.
We don't have a current beta system. After we finished Prodigy's beta in December, we haven't needed any more beta testers for stuff. We do have a beta forum, but it's just closed. If it opens back up, you'll see an announcement on our Discord. So easiest way to do that would be just jump on our Discord and subscribe to the announcements channel or the news channel, and you'll hear about it.
Oh, let me get a link to your Discord. Hang on, I can get it from the store page, can't I?
Yeah, it should be.
Oh, look at that. Fresh me pushing a link directly into the chat there. Oh, lovely. Gotcha. Let me scrolly. Support via Discord. Copy link. and paste link into chat. Here is a link to the Discord for Cleverous, where you can find out about all funky stuff. Can they find out about your game? Where can they find more information about it?
I have a channel there for, like I put GIFs in it and stuff like that. Some of the behind the scenes development. We have procedural algorithms, building worlds and things like that. And so I'll put some GIFs in there of that stuff.
Thank you so much for coming in. I've had so much fun.
It was my pleasure to be on your stream.
You really mean it?
I do.
Aww.
Truly enjoyable. I had a good time.
And we managed to put guns in the hands of people that never held a gun before, and it didn't break.
I've impressed even myself.
I love the fact that
the resilience. Normally when I use my own tools, they just break all the time. But for some reason, when you played with them, they ran great.
Don't say that to people. We're trying to shill your work. It's fully stable, everyone at home. There's nothing wrong with any of them. Don't worry. They won't format your computer. They might too. We just don't know yet. But do make sure you are using an LTS version of Unity.
Yeah, I do need to look into why that's happening. Which, honestly, some of the stuff I see happen, like you just load it up in a new version and it's weird things like, the weapons just don't appear. Why? Why? All it is just like a call to instantiate. Like, why?
But why would you break that?
Why would that be broken? I don't know. I don't understand.
Messi, you've become bad at breaking things lately. No, I still managed to break something. It's just mostly it was Unity that broke it. We were just passengers along for the ride. Cleverous, available right now in the Unity Asset Store. ! Cleverous. All the way in sunny Mexico, but that means that he just doesn't sleep. He's constantly answering all of your problems. So if you've got any questions whatsoever, pop over to his Discord, post it day or night, and you're likely to get an answer within minutes. And if not, don't forget 1-star review on the joking. Did he just say we can buy Cleverous on the asset? Yes.
So just calm down just a little bit, okay?
If you
maybe wait till 8 a.m. when I wake up, okay?
If you do purchase his stuff, he will give you customer support. So technically, you are purchasing him because you're purchasing his time.
Well, hey, if you fix a bug in Prodigy, you're indirectly fixing a bug in my game too. So.
Oh my word.
Feel free to report problems.
Which is completely opposite to the method that Unity used, as we found out today with the bug that you reported.
Yeah.
It's not a bug, it's a feature.
It's a feature. Oh man, there's so many of those too. It's a problem.
Well, do you know what? There are no bugs with your assets. They're just surprise features that we're here to find in Unity 22. And on that note, thank you so much for coming in, buddy. And chat is saying thank you for donating your asset. Time for nom noms. But Gamey is going for his nom noms because you've got him so hungry. He just needs that energy to start coding and making some more fun games with your stuff.
Yeah. Well, it was my pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me. I enjoyed it very much. And if you guys jump in on the products, I'm on Discord. You can ask questions there. We have a section for pre-purchases too. So everything's hidden behind a validation gate. So you have to verify your invoice before you can see the channels. But we have a pre-purchase channel, and you can ask all the questions you want in there.
There you go, everyone. Links in the chat. Hungry for more Cleverous assets, indeed.
All right.
Catch you later, buddy.
Take care.
If you want to see more of my crazy videos, click on the left side of your screen now, and down below there's that big juicy subscribe button, and right next to it is the magic bell that if you click it, it will tell you if I've got a new video coming out. Till next time.